The cost of Arizona's audit is quickly adding up. Um, the Arizona Republicans are not backing down in their effort to wrest control over the state's election audit in Maricopa County, despite the mountainous evidence that no fraud played any part in the state's general election results. On Thursday, the Republican-controlled state Senate approved a measure to strip the Democratic State Secretary Katie Hobbs of her responsibilities in handling the election-related litigation, according to a New York Times Post report. This move, which transfers Hobbs' authority to the state's Republican Attorney General Mark Brnovich, came as part of a recent piece of budget legislation. And that particular legislation itself includes a number of provisions aimed at combating the future election fraud, a phenomenon which Arizona Republicans have basically alleged impacted the 2020 general election results in President Biden's favor, which wasn't true. One provision mandates an examination of voter registration databases for counties with the populations north of 1 million residents, where incidentally many Democratic majority cities like Phoenix and Tucson, are located. Space them out here for a minute. Another item in the bill would allot $500,000 to a state-sponsored investigation into whether the social media algorithms on platforms like Facebook and Twitter are biased in favor of certain political parties. But this algorithmic favoritism, it says state Republicans say effectively serves as a kind of election contribution that is not formally registered with the state. Also in the bill is a provision that would establish an election integrity fund, which is designed to finance more safeguards against potential fraud. Hobbs last week said that the budget legislation was unlike anything that she had ever seen. The sheer amount of policy issues that were tacked onto the budget in the middle of the night is a shocking abuse of power, she declared. Hobbs also added that Republicans were weaponizing the process to take retribution against her office position. This legislation comes amid the legal tumult over the future use of voting machines that Arizona Republicans had subpoenaed back in April to conduct their audit for the 2020 presidential election. On Monday, the county announced that it would not reuse the machines after being in the hands of the state Senate contractors, most of whom have stayed entirely mum on precisely how the audit is being conducted. The county board of supervisors on Monday expressed to Hobbs concerns about the integrity of the machines, since the contractors who now retain custody of them are not legally certified to conduct an election recount anyway, according to the Arizona Republic back in late May. Hobbs herself aired out these same concerns, starting to consider decertification proceedings if the Senate intended to reuse these machines. It remains unclear whether Maricopa County, which holds a $6.1 million three-year lease with Dominion, whose election machines were subpoenaed, will be able to effectively break its contract with the company without incurring the cost of the full lease. Currently spearheading the audit is the formerly unknown Florida-based cybersecurity firm Cyber Ninjas, a company who has no apparent experience in auditing elections. And this week, Cyber Ninjas CEO Doug Logan, who's a known proponent of the Stop the Steal Klan movement, appeared in a recently released film titled The Deep Rig that parroted talking points with QAnon, a conspiracy theory that alleges that a cabal of pedophilia, satanic cult of democratic elites are attempting to overthrow the U.S. government, which also isn't true. If we don't fix our election integrity now, we may no longer have a democracy, Logan argued in the film, citing a baseless theory that the CIA is waging a disinformation campaign around election fraud. Though the audit may boast the lofty long-term goals, i.e., getting Donald Trump reinstated as squatter, which won't happen, its short-term consequences may not be paying off for the Republicans, according to Ben Dixon in an Amandi International poll. About half of Arizona people do not support the recount, with a slight majority favoring Biden over Trump in the next election. Some state Republicans have disavowed the recount, as Salon reported last month that one Arizona GOP operative told Politico that this fucking audit is a joke, and adding that Republicans in other states should avoid it. And the election is long over. It's time to look forward and not back. Fernand Amandi, one of the poll's authors, echoed to Politico that the recount cuts two ways. As bloody as bloody red as it's bloody red meat for the maggot Republican base. The audit is manna from heaven, but the problem is that Arizona is not a red state anymore; it's a swing state, he said, and the audit may be serving two interests: firing up both giving Democrats